Good morning, my mate muchachos. Happy Monday. Happy mate. I don't know if I have the story exactly right or not. Wade can correct me, but a number of years ago when we were kids, we went on a little backpacking trip in Waterton. And there was a point where, because it was just my dad and no other leaders, we had parked our vehicle at one point, and the boys were kind of doing a through hike that was going to end us up at Red Rock, but we had started. The car was parked at the Roe Lakes trailhead, and so Wade and I got sent to go back and get the keys and drive the vehicle around. I remember being excited because I think I only had my learners at the time, but my dad figured he better stay with the boys as he sent me back. But it was in the midst of that they said, so you boys will be faster. Why don't you give some of your gear and some of your stuff to some of these other boys? They'll keep backpacking it through, and then you guys can be quicker on foot. And at least that's my memory of it. And Wade ended up pulled out this length of chain out of his backpack. It was quite heavy, and I think his rationale was just in case he had to lock up his bag or something. I don't know. Anyway, I can't remember if we just left it in the woods or if some kid took that length of chain. But the point is that on a lightweight backpacking trip, a big length of chain is probably the wrong idea. I remember a kid once bringing up 24 cans of pop in the back of his backpack, and it was heavy enough on the first steep part of the trail that he was handing out pops left, right, and center to have guys drink them so that he wouldn't have to carry them the rest of the way. But it got me thinking about some of the things that we carry unnecessarily and that weigh us down. And I can't remember where it was, but I was reading a thing the other day that talked about the idea that, on one hand, you can look to introduce brilliance and genius into your life and find ways to be, exceptionally smart or creative or more efficient. But they said the other approach might, rather than like trying to strive for brilliance, maybe bit by bit we eliminate some of the stupidity from our life, and that in some ways that's an easier thing to identify, and it'll bring up our average, so to speak. If we can identify some of the things that we're doing in life that are just so stupid or so counterproductive or just so obviously are an anchor to our progress. And if we get rid of those things, that in the end, the net effect it has on our life is probably similar to achieving brilliance and probably easier to come by. So that thought struck me, and it's going to be my focus for this week, is to look for things in my physical life, my spiritual life, my emotional and social life that are obvious anchors, and to just really focus on that this week, to not worry too much about being exceptionally brilliant or smart or creative or outstanding that way, and to just try to stop stubbing my toes and to try to stop carrying these chains and to stop doing the things that I know are self-defeating and so dumb. And anyway, I'm sure it won't take much thought at all for me to come up with some of those things, time wasters and soul drainers, so anyway, simple message, but that's my invitation to you boys. Why don't you search your life for the chains and the rocks and the heavy things that you can relieve yourself of, and looking forward to the progress that I hope that makes in my life. Love you, boys. Thanks for being wind in my sails. You guys are the best. Happy Easter. Happy Monday. Christ is King. And love you, boys.